our good friends at Angel Studios. I love Angel Studios. Amazing new film this Holy Week. Phenomenal. In fact,
as I think about Charlie's life and how much of a support he was of Angel, it's hard not to feel so grateful for what he did. He supported us in our darkest days and in our brightest hours as a company. Man, are we grateful to have gotten to be a little connection in the multitude of connections that he made throughout his life, because it was so impactful to us. Thank you, Charlie. Love you. We miss you. We're going to continue to drive forward the good news.
We were talking before the break about the founders and, the myth the founders were all, proto-modern atheists and such. And so I was looking at some of, the early Thanksgiving stuff. So George Washington was proclaiming days of Thanksgiving in the middle of the Revolutionary War, notably after the battle at Saratoga, which was the victory that really opened the way for America to actually win that conflict. And then we had proclamations of Thanksgiving by the Continental Congress or the Confederation Congress during that fun period where we didn't have the Constitution yet. And then this one really stood out to me as remarkable. Basically, the day after the House of Representatives voted to advance the First Amendment, the Freedom of Religion Amendment, the one that people used to argue there's a wall of separation between church and state in our government. They declared us a non-religious country. The day after they do this, Congressman Elias Boudinot, I have no idea how they're going to pronounce that, from New Jersey, he had the House and Senate jointly call for President Washington to declare a day of Thanksgiving for, quote, the many signal favors of Almighty God in his favor for our country.
Yeah, Bill, this is a debate that goes back and forth, and Charlie, I think, had the ultimate slapdown video. I think we're just going to have to play it when we get it. Bill, was America a Christian nation? Or do we have Christian roots, or are we just a bunch of deists, that believe in a distant God? What is the truth?
Yeah, well, Europe was Catholic, and then the Reformation started, and then you had one denomination per country. So Northern Germany and Sweden were Lutheran. Switzerland was Calvinist. Scotland was Presbyterian. Holland was Dutch Reformed. Italy, Spain, France, Austria, Poland stayed Catholic. And if you did not believe the way your king did, you were persecuted and you fled. And a lot of those people that fled spilled over and founded colonies in America. So I read through every charter of every colony. Every colony was started by a different Christian denomination. Virginia was Anglican. You had to take the oath of supremacy, acknowledging the king as the head of the Anglican Church. Massachusetts was Puritan. Rhode Island was founded by Baptist. New York was founded by Dutch Reform. Delaware and New Jersey were originally Swedish Lutheran and then taken over by the Dutch and then taken over by the British. Connecticut and New Hampshire were Congregationalist Christian colonies, and Pennsylvania Quaker. And did I mention Maryland was founded by Catholics, Lord Baltimore? But the idea in America was they didn't get along. They tar and feather each other's. But then they all had to work together against the King of England. After the Revolution, their attitude changed to, we may not always agree on religion, but you are willing to fight and die for my freedom. I need to let you practice your faith. And so religion began to expand, but on a state-by-state basis. So in 1776, 98% of the country was Protestant, 3 million people, only 1% Catholic, only 30,000 Catholics in a country of 3 million. They were only allowed in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York. And then 0.1% Jewish, only 7 synagogues in the whole country. And then I read through every state constitution. And so 9 of the original 13, you had to be a Protestant. 3, you had to be a plain Christian. And then there's an Irish potato famine. Millions of Irish Catholics come to America, and they go from 1% to 20% in a decade. And then states began to expand from requiring you to be Protestant to just Christian. Then there's a persecution of Jews in Bavaria. They come across and go from 0.1% to 1%. In 1851, Maryland changed its state constitution to say you could hold office if you were a Christian or a Jew. And then after the Civil War, many states rewrote their constitutions to say all you had to do was believe in God. But again, the First Amendment was simply to prevent the federal government from picking one Christian denomination and making it the national one, which again was what every country in Europe had done.
Wow. That's thorough. That is very thorough. I wonder if so Charlie had this great exchange. We're going to play it in the next segment. But Bill, did you give him all of the where did he get that from you, Bill?
Yeah. We did an interview actually on that topic beforehand, and then right after he recorded that, he texted it to me, and he said, "How did I do?"
Well, I think he did well because that clip was seen by tens of millions of people. It really was an absolute masterclass.